everybody, Kevin J. Johnston here. Welcome to episode 30 of the Real Estate and Money Show. We have a special, and that special guest is Austin Hess. I think we've all come to know and love him very, very much. He's our Panama connection down here. We'll start off by me explaining a couple of quick things. For the last 2 Wednesdays in a row, we have done a pre-record. We did a repeat of episode number 29 of the show. There was a couple of reasons for that, but the most honest of them all and the most representative of exactly what happened is pure exhaustion. Every single day, I am consulting with between 3 and 8 Canadians and Americans who are having tax issues right across the board. And by the time Wednesdays roll around, I only take Saturdays off these days. So from Sunday to Wednesday, I will see 25 to 30 people. We'll get legal letters done for them. We'll get their taxation started, done, up and running, whatever it might be. The exhaustion kicked in. The funniest thing going was last Wednesday, I had my business partner here snapping his fingers like this right in front of my face because I fell asleep at this computer with my eyes open. Literally like that. I was out cold. So I just reached that exhaustion level. Tonight, obviously, it's live. Today is the 17th of July. It is currently 9:06 p.m. Eastern time. So we are live tonight, and we're going to do everything we can to keep everything rocking for you on Wednesday nights because we adore bringing this type of information to you. So to remind everybody what we discovered last week, that is the Canada Revenue Agency is acting outside of the law whenever they are taking money out of your bank account. Section 323 of the excise subsection 3 of the Excise Tax Act, it dictates clearly that they must get a court order before they can take money from your account, and they do not do that. We have not one, but 3 different CRA representatives telling me that they do not get court orders because they honestly don't believe that they have to. And they have to. Trust me when I say this. So I'm talking to a couple of police officers. I have yesterday. I've got meetings on Saturday by Zoom with a couple of police officers. We're going to do our very best to report Canada Revenue Agency staff for breaking the law, theft, extortion, intimidation, theft over 5,000, conspiracy, and so on. There you go. So I'm still fighting the fight for you, Canada, to get taxes to be either lowered or reduced to zero. Why? Because I want you all to talk to my partner down here in crime, Austin Hess in Panama. Take the money that I save you in taxes, and you're going to be buying property down here and living a very happy, comfortable life. And welcome back to the show, Austin Hess. Long time no see. Looking good as always.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Kevin. Good evening, friends from afar. Hello from beautiful Panama.
All right. Well, yeah, this town is absolutely remarkable. I'm really at home here. I love Panama City. I've had a good time in other places like Cologne and Panama Pacifico, Coronado, and others. And I'll be finally checking out David in 2 weeks. I'll be reporting to people on that, what I think of the town. But let's talk about my home now, Panama City. Austin, you've been here for how long?
Gosh, I'm going on in January. It'll be 13 years. You know, I came here really by mistake. You know, I had sold a business in Hawaii in the reason being was to move to Australia, and I had a great opportunity in Australia, and that transaction took place a lot quicker than I thought it would. And I was at the bar that night in Maui, Hawaii, Kihei, and my buddy Reed's like, dude, I'm going to Panama in 5 days, and I'm going for 3 months to find gold in the river, and you're not leaving for Australia for 4.5 months. You want to go with me? And I was like, yes, I definitely do. A little bit of the reason why I got to doing what I do so well for Panama, my passion for this country, is because my own ignorance. You know, I went home that night, I got on the computer and I saw, some indigenous Indians with face paints and all this and teepees in the back. And I thought I was literally moving to the Amazon rainforest. So again, my own ignorance gave me the reason to put together, we do publications. Currently, we have the Restaurant, Travel, and Lifestyle magazine. We obviously do a lot of real estate and travel vlogs on our channel on YouTube, Do Panama. For anyone that wants to check those out, see what's going on, see what's hot on the market. And
Right.
I just fell in love with this country. You know, I'm big on the universe. I'm big on energy and feelings. And everywhere I turned, it was like you, Kevin. I mean, gosh darn it, you're new here. And every time I talk to you, you're like, dude, I'm more in love today than I was yesterday with this country. And it happens to most people, you know, like when you come down here and you remove yourself from the hate, the negativity, the drama, the racism, the classism, all this crud that a lot of us have back in the US and or Canada. You know, I hear, you know, a gentleman was telling me today that there's a lot of people coming from Italy right now. Same thing, you know, obviously we're more focused on the US and Canada because that's where we're from. And, you know, no, you know, obviously we help out anyone that we possibly can in relocating, investing, or retiring in this country. But yeah, it's just so interesting, you know, like the beauty that life is when you wake up every morning and you're like, thank you, God, for putting me in this magical place. You know, obviously I live in the city. I'm right here on Avenida Balboa with the magazine and with the real estate company, you know, being that we do have affiliates throughout the whole country. Our company covers the whole country. So I get to travel a lot. And that's I think one of my favorite things. You know, safety is a big one for me. The cool expats that have come to live here are all very unique individuals. And then a real big one is the different destinations and how easy it is to get to those destinations. I mean, from here to Bocas del Toro, it's a 55-minute flight, and you're in Pirates of the Caribbean for adults, like more taxi boats than taxi trucks type place. Just super cool. You know, you have beautiful places like Boquete and Banao and Cambutal and Pedesi and El Valle. Obviously, the Coronado, San Carlos, and Buenaventura beach towns. You have the Pearl Islands, which are really beautiful. And then Terra Azul is another nice mountain town. Of course, San Blas is a magical place that will change your life. Gilligan's Island style, right? You go out to these 365 islands in this archipelago on the Caribbean side. And it's just so special, you know. We have 4 archipelagos throughout the country, 2 on the Pacific, 2 on the Atlantic. And then, you know, it's just, it doesn't get boring. You're always having a really good adventure. You can do a lot in nature. You know, any nature lovers out there that love to get out and hike or do water sports or anything, golf. I mean, it's warm 365 days a year. I think that's one of my favorite things. And, you know, being from the Pacific Northwest, you know, like when I came down here and Panamanians were like, you like it here? And they're like, wait till rainy season. I'm like, you know, I was so scared. I was freaking out like, oh, what's this horrible rainy season? And it's not that. It's actually what I've come to call green season. It becomes so beautiful. Yes, when you look at the weather on the internet, it says 100% chance of rain. But what they forget to mention is usually that 100% chance of rain is going to last about 10 minutes to 30 minutes and then be gone.
Okay, so Austin, I got to comment on that because you picked me up at the airport when I landed in Panama for the first time in my life. And I asked you, when does the rainy season start? And you said today. That was back in April. So I can tell everybody out there, we've had one day in this rainy season of rain that lasted more than an hour. It's usually about 10 minutes.
Like a full day rain, you're probably looking at 25 full days of rain a year. Depending on where you're at, right? Depending. You know, some regions will obviously have their own microclimates that do their own things. But being the city rat loving metropolitan city guy I am, I live here in the city. I like the fast pace. I love how many incredible restaurants there are here. I mean, so many authentic restaurants. I mean, you literally have famous, amazing Italian chefs moving from Italy to Panama. Same thing from Germany. Same thing from Austria. Same thing from all over the world. You know, I have great friends from Australia. I have great friends from Italy, Canada, US. I mean, it's just a big melting pot here. And because of that, we have an incredible gastronomic scene. So anybody that's out there that's like, man, I love food and I love eating at amazing restaurants. I mean, you literally, it would take you three years to eat at every restaurant if you ate out every night. You know, every good restaurant. You know, obviously there's some you probably just want to avoid, but you know, that's why I make a magazine called The Restaurant. And if you're not here in the country yet, you can also check it out online at therestaurantpty.com. So if anyone's interested in knowing more about the restaurant scene, those publications are all digital as well.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's dive right into it. As it turns out, I have spoken to a couple of building owners in Panama, and I was asking, because Canadians are having such a difficult time with the Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA is shutting down bank accounts and just stealing money out of bank accounts. So there are people in Canada that have about $200,000-$300,000 in the bank, and they've got debit cards, like debit Visa cards or debit MasterCards attached to them. Well, as it turns out, Austin, we can buy condominiums here on a credit card. Just go whoop, and it's done. So let's start talking about the kinds of properties people can get their hands on for less than $250,000 here in Panama. Please, you're up. You know everything here. You know everyone here.
I do want to step back a little bit on that. Usually when you're taking a credit card with start a purchasing process here in Panama, that's typically going to be with a developer. And typically that's only going to be your reservation deposit. Just to clear that up, I always want to make sure, I don't want people coming down here and be like, give me a $500,000 condo on my credit card, because I don't think it will work.
No, it's definitely directly with developers. You are correct to say that. They'll do the whole thing. And that's just a quick way to get your money out of the country legally.
Definitely. But, you know, we have a lot of Canadian clients. We have a lot of US clients. And I've never seen anyone really have any real issues. Sometimes a little time delay because of the amount of money they're moving. But, you know, opening a bank account in Panama is super simple. It takes about an hour, hour and a half usually. All you need to do to open up a bank account in Panama is you'll need a letter of reference from your attorney that would be doing your immigration, which is very easy to obtain. And you'll need your last year's tax returns. And that's just to show that you're not a bad guy doing bad guy things, right? So that's the way the banks do it. It's super simple. Again, you can open a bank account. You don't even have to be a resident of the country yet to have a bank account. You do not need to be a resident of the country to own property. You know, we have a lot of clients coming down buying like legal Airbnb units and getting the residency and still living back in the US or Canada. And the idea there is, hey, I can make a nice 8 to 13% return on investment on this rental property. It gives me also the comfort and just the well-being of knowing that, hey, if you know what hits the fan, I got somewhere to go and call home other than where I'm at right now. So we're seeing a lot of people do that, obviously, for, again, multiple different reasons. Whether you're from the US and Canada, we don't really need to talk about that. It's not like no one's living under a rock anymore. You got the social media, it's in your face everywhere. And it just seems like, you know, again, everyone that comes down here, I think that's my favorite part, is watching clients, you know, not just the first month or 2 or 3, but 3 years later, you know, where I'll see them at a restaurant and they'll be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you for taking the time. Because like, I would rather take more time and make sure you get exactly what you're looking for, and you be happy, not just now and in 3 weeks, but in 5 years, where again, you're happy. And that's why I'm able to take the time with each client, or I want to take the time with each client and make sure that they're finding exactly what they're looking for based on, you know, a couple things. And, you know, the number one way we do that is a relocation survey, which, by the way, it's on our website, dopanama.com. When you answer that relocation survey, it's just, you know, it's 23 multiple choice questions. The last question is, how did you hear about us? Make sure to tap on that Kevin J. Johnston button so that we know that you came from Kevin's show. You know, we have a lot of clients that are doing these relocation surveys from Kevin. We actually I had a really good Zoom call this week, Kevin, with one of your guys. Super excited to have run into us. So again, it's great what you're doing, and putting people, you know, in the fast lane to finding paradise.
Well, I can say to everybody out there, you know how